A retail apocalypse is gaining momentum all over America. Is your favorite chain closing stores? Michael Snyder reports. Why are retailers closing thousands of stores if the U.S. economy is in good shape? Of course, the truth is that the U.S. economy is not in good shape at all. The cost of living crisis is absolutely crushing working families all over the nation, and U.S. consumers simply don't have as much discretionary income as they once did. Needless to say, our retailers are highly dependent on discretionary spending, and many of them have been reporting very disappointing sales numbers recently. Sadly, the problems that our retailers are experiencing are only going to intensify as U.S. economic activity continues to slow down. According to CBS News, U.S. retailers have announced the closing of more than 3,000 locations in 2024. The retail industry is going through a tough time as it copes with inflation-weary consumers and a rash of bankruptcies, prompting chains to announce the closures of almost 3,200 brick-and-mortar stores so far in 2024, according to a new analysis. That's a 24% increase from a year ago, according to a report from retail data provider CoreSite, which tracks store closures and openings across the U.S. The closing of 3,200 stores sounds really bad, but it's important to note that the quote above is from CBS News story that was published on May 13. Since that time, there have been a lot more store closings announcements. For example, last week we learned that Big Lots plans to close nearly 300 stores. 2 months after announcing plans to close about 40 stores nationwide due to financial woes, Big Lots has indicated on its website it intends to close almost 300 stores. The discount retailer announced in June it was facing several areas of financial strain that would result in 35 to 40 stores closing across the country. However, an audit of the Big Lots website on August 2nd reveals almost 300 stores are slated to close in the United States, including 18 in New England. Meanwhile, a home goods retailer that's been in business since 1890 is preparing to permanently shut down over 170 stores. A home goods retailer closing all of its more than 170 stores after filing for bankruptcy. Conn's Home Plus, based in the Woodlands, Texas, operates stores in 15 states, including 11 in Louisiana. The company began in 1890 in Beaumont, Texas. The Conn's Home Plus store on Derrick Drive in Lake Charles is included in the closures. Bergdorf Interiors has been in business for even longer, but now they have also reached the end of the road. Bergdorf Interiors, a 157-year-old local business, is shutting down according to Louisville Business First. The company announced the closure in a news release on Wednesday. It's with a heavy heart that we are announcing the closure of Bergdorf Interiors, the release said. The business has been open in several locations throughout Louisville since 1867. Just think about that. They opened their doors just after the end of the Civil War, and now it's all over. Drugstore chains that have been hit particularly hard by our ongoing retail apocalypse. Rite Aid was once a retail powerhouse that was expanding like crazy, but now they plan to close 780 stores. Rite Aid, which was based in East Pennsboro Township near Camp Hill for decades and is now based in Philadelphia, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in October to begin restructuring to significantly reduce its debt. Since October, the company has announced in bankruptcy filings the closing of 780 stores. Of course, Dollar Tree has Rite Aid beat. During the course of the next few years, Dollar Tree plans to close almost 1,000 stores. Dollar Tree on Wednesday said it plans to close nearly 1,000 stores over the next several years after disclosing significant losses in its latest earnings report. The discount store chain lost $1.7 billion in the fourth quarter, down sharply from earnings of $452.2 million a year ago. Unfortunately, this is just the beginning. Analysis at USB are projecting that approximately 45,000 stores will be permanently shut down in the U.S. during the years in front of us. About 45,000 retail stores may close in the coming years as retail physical footprint increasingly shifts to serve as fulfillment and distribution centers, USB analysts led by Michael Lasser said in an April 22nd report. Can you imagine what this is going to look like? Our landscape is going to be peppered with thousands upon thousands of derelict buildings that have been boarded up to keep criminals out. Of course, some of our core urban areas already have lots and lots of empty commercial spaces that used to be thriving retail locations. One of the primary reasons why retailers are shutting down so many locations in core urban areas is because shoplifting in this country has risen to unprecedented levels. According to a recent survey that was conducted by LendingTree, close to a fourth of the entire population admits that they have shoplifted. Nearly 1/4 of American adults have shoplifted, according to a new survey from LendingTree, the personal finance site. Roughly 1 in 20 consumers have shoplifted within the past year. Shoplifting is a complicated crime. The motive can range from adolescent rebellion to adult thrill-seeking to hand-to-mouth poverty. Many of us steal things we don't need and won't use. I've learned that a lot of people have given shoplifting a try for lots and lots of reasons, said Matt Schultz, Chief Credit Analysis of LendingTree. At this point, shoplifting has become one of our primary pastimes. Los Angeles Police Department spokesman confirmed to KTLA that about 50 teens descended upon the 7-Eleven at the corner of Olympic and La Cienega Boulevards in Pico Robertson at 7:50 p.m. The teens, many of whom were wearing masks, forcibly stole property from the store, the spokesperson said. This particular incident barely made a blip in the news cycle. And why is that? These days, giant mobs loot stores so frequently that this sort of thing isn't even considered to be very newsworthy anymore. The thin veneer of civilization that we're all dependent on is disintegrating right in front of our eyes, and our once great country is descending into complete and utter chaos. If things are this bad now, what will our cities look like once economic conditions become far more painful than they are currently? This is by Michael Snyder on the Economic Collapse blog. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. This is by Michael Snyder. About the author, Michael Snyder's extremely controversial new book entitled Chaos is available in paperback and for Kindle on Amazon. He's also written 7 other books that are available on Amazon, including End Times, 7-Year Apocalypse, Lost Prophecies of the Future of America, The Beginning of the End, and Living a Life That Really Matters. When you purchase any of Michael's books, you help to support the work he's doing. You can also get his articles by email as soon as he publishes them by subscribing to his Substack newsletter. Michael has published thousands of articles on the Economic Collapse blog, End of the American Dream, and the most important news. And he always freely and happily allows others to republish those articles on their own websites. These are such troubled times and people need hope. John 3:16 tells us about the hope that God has given us through Jesus Christ. For God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. If you have not already done so, we strongly urge you to invite Jesus Christ to be your Lord and Savior today. Support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.